Good afternoon, everybody. Keith Dykes here with W.K.D Construction, and welcome back to my channel. So on today's video, we are going to be sweating it out. Holy cow, it is hot. Oh, it is. Let me see what we got here. 96 degrees, probably 129% humidity. So I don't even know what that makes it, but man, it is hot as Hades out here. It is bad, but on today's video, we are going to be installing these beautiful Western rough sawn cedar posts here on the back porch of the Melton Farm project. If you are not returning back as a viewer on my channel and you're new, first of all, thank you very much for joining us. And number two is if you would like to see what we've got going on up to this point, because we've got a bunch of beautiful stuff going on. We've got the diamond coat siding, and then you can see this poplar ceiling up here. So you can go back, and I'll put a link right here, and you can go back and watch part one, to where we started digging footings on this project, and then you can just watch them all the way up to this part right here. So we'll get into how to mount these beautiful 6x6 Western rough sawn cedar posts. We will anchor them to the concrete, and then we will anchor them up into the header. We will be using the Simpson outdoor accent post bases, which actually keep the wood up off of the concrete so we don't get any moisture and rot. And then we actually will have a structural fastener between the post and the header. That way everything is bolted down to the concrete. Your porch is bolted down to the concrete. It won't catch wind and raise up and your post fly out, because that would be no good. And the Simpson outdoor accent fasteners are pretty cool. I really like them. I've used them several times. And it's a very cool system, very user-friendly, very easy to use, and structurally sound. So let's get into it. I'm here on the back porch, and as you can see, we got our temporary bracing for our porch there. But I ordered our permanent post, which are going to be a 6x6 Western rough sawn cedar. So I'm staining them right now. We're putting a Cabot Australian timber oil honey teak. So we're using that to stain and seal the wood, and I've used that several times. I like it pretty good. They got some pretty good already pre-mixed colors. And we were trying to match the tone of the poplar, which we used Early American stain from Minwax on that. Of course, it's not going to be an exact match, because poplar is basically a green hue. The wood itself is kind of green, and then the cedar has got that kind of reddish, brownish hue to it. So even if you did put the exact same stain, it's not going to be a perfect match. We were just trying to get that golden tone, I guess you could say. So once it goes on, it's pretty kind of red, but it's starting to dry and have a lot more of that golden tone to match the porch ceiling. We will have 5 posts. These temporary posts are, of course, where they're supposed to be mounted. So we will figure out where the location is after we plumb it. We'll set up a laser and get it plumbed, and then we're going to use these standoff metal brackets by Simpson Outdoor Accents. Very cool product. I used these a couple times before. They work really well, look really good too, and got these little washers here. You think they're a bolt head? Nope. They're a washer. So you put that in, put that on there, and then you got these structural screws that go into that hole. So once it's all said and done, it kind of looks like a big ass bolt. So very cool product, and looks really well, holds up really good, and just a cool product. So no special instructions, just slap it on, because the cedar is pretty dry. It will soak it up. I like the texture. It's kind of why we went with a Western rough sawn cedar, is because of the texture. Kind of gives it a more rustic feel. You know, this is kind of an old farmhouse look anyway, so we wanted something kind of to have that rustic, old-timey feel. So these are a perfect match. So here's the standoff bracket. We will mount this to the concrete. It's got a hole. We'll use a 1/2-inch concrete anchor, and then there's the standoff that the post sets on, so water does not get trapped underneath it. You know, and then it sits on there. So we'll cut the post to length. Put our bottle jack right here on this side, jack it up. Of course, remove the temporary ugly post. Sneak that bad boy in there. We'll laser it up. I'll make sure we need to be, because that needs to be set exactly where it needs to be set. So we'll figure that where it needs to go, anchor it, and put it in. Make sure the nut head is lower than that offset. Should be good, be good. Yeah, sabang. Five more to go. Four more to go. And to find our spacing, we set both corner posts, and then I measured from each post in the same increment down through there, which this is 13 feet because all of my header, all of my LVL was setting at 13 feet. So we've got a brace underneath each seam wherever I had a seam for the it was a 11/7/8 LVL header 2-ply. So I think we went 26. I think there's one in the middle, basically. So, but anyway, all the other ones, to make them even, are resting at 13 feet. So to find where my post is going to go on the concrete, this is my 13-foot mark. My post is 6 inches, so I measured over 3 inches, squared it, and then I just use a piece of 7/16 OSB, put it on there, and that's my reveal on the front side. So then I just set my plumb bob up. And I'll mark that, and I'll find my front edge, and we'll be ready to go. That is, all the posts are up. So now we are anchored at the concrete and anchored at the top. So we've got a 3.5-inch structural screw into an LVL, both sides, and then down in the concrete. So now our porch is tied down to our slab. So if a big, huge gust of wind comes up, we are good to go. It should be anchored and will withstand. I don't know how many mile-an-hour wind, but it'll take a damn hell of a lot to pull it up. I know that. Well, that is it. That is my video on how we installed 6x6 post here on the back porch of the Melton Farm project. Over here and give you a little peek, up close, last peek here. But I do like the Western rough sawn cedar. It has a good texture to it. Cedar in general is a good wood to have outside. It is very rot resistant. Bugs don't really bother it. Like here in Tennessee, we have a lot of wood bees. So if you've got regular pine, treated wood, man, wood bees will tear it up. But for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe there's the chemical in the cedar itself. I don't know, but I've had a lot better luck with the cedar, the rough sawn cedar, because maybe it just doesn't taste good. I don't know. But yeah, very good. And they look a little better to me. I get that rough texture on it versus just a treated post. I don't know, just looks a little richer, I guess is what I'm getting after. But yeah, brackets. Of course, it stood off the concrete 1 inch with the bolts, 4 bolts on each side, and of course we got 4 bolts into the post at the top, and then 4 bolts into the LVL header at the very top, and that gives you a nice secure connection from your header all the way to your concrete. And that is one style. They do have, I think they got another different style that's not as, I don't know, whatever that profile is. They got one that's a little more plain, a little more clean, a little more modern looking. I don't know which that is called, actually. I'll have to look and see, but they do have 2 different options as far as I know. That one, that bracket, and another one, like I said, it's just a little cleaner. Oh, I like the poplars on it. Look good. I'll give you just a little peek on the front porch. We stamped it. We did stamp the concrete as well. You ever seen 12-inch wide stamped wood concrete? Man, it looks killer, but I'll give you a little peek. Look at that. See the bolt heads in it. Some of them you can see the saw marks in it. So be sure to keep watching, man. I got some good stuff coming up. Once again, I'm Keith Dykes. This was the 6x6 Western rough sawn cedar post here on the back porch. Thanks for watching, and yep. Got it, coach.